everyone, and welcome back to Talk of Fame podcast. I'm Kylie Martini, and I'm super excited for today's conversation on Talk of Fame. We have Carolina Rezende. Carolina is a singer, actress, model who released her first song in 2019 called Unstoppable. Later on, she followed by many streams resulting in TikTok users listening to the song and creating dances. Unstoppable was streamed on Brazilian radio Jovan Pan. The radio would send an Unstoppable t-shirt every Friday to a listener who requested the song the most throughout the week, which is pretty amazing in my opinion, but it's a great idea. But Carolina dubbed for the voice of Yasmine on Netflix's Cuties is on Disney Descendants Commercial. She also enjoyed starring in The Last Dragon, Hop Onto the Streets, and Battle of the Bands filmed. Carolina recently released fashionable merch on Amazon in winter 2020. Together launched on all music platforms as a conscious reminder to take care of our world. Also, Carolina's work and mission is literally like so awesome, and I can't wait for everyone to learn more about it, whoever is like a fan or is this kind of like very new to her work. I'm sure like they're looking forward to learning more about you, and of course I'm super excited to learn more about you, of course. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm super excited to have you on. Like, how are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I'm actually really excited to talk to you and just like share some things about like that have to do with Talk of Fame.
Of course. So, I wanted to ask you, like, I know, you probably get these questions a lot. Like, how did you kind of get your start in the entertainment industry? I know you were born in Brazil, then were raised in Florida, right?
Yeah, so basically I was born in Brazil and I lived there practically my whole life. I was born and raised there. And then when I was 7, I moved to Florida and I lived there for 3 years. And then while I was in Florida, this is kind of a funny story on how my career actually got started. My sister, she was just kind of scrolling through her Instagram and she saw an ad for this place, or like this competition, and it's called IMTA, so it stands for International Models and Talent Association. And we've always kind of just thought it'd be really fun to get started in acting and in modeling. Um, so then she told me about the competition, and I said, okay, so let's join. And it was in New York, and it was a 7 days, so 1 week competition. And then I ended up winning Actress of the Year and some other things. And then I found a manager, and my manager brought me to my agent. And then I moved out here to LA to start pursuing everything.
Ooh, like, did you like want to pursue like acting stuff like that before you kind of like tried out with those things, or is it kind of like, oh, it's an ad, I should definitely try out and see if I like it?
We we've always watched movies and really like is a big fan of Disney and Nickelodeon.
Mhm.
So I guess we never really talked about it, but it's always kind of been like within the air that we wanted to go out into this career path, or I don't know.
Mhm.
Then when she saw the ad, and then she showed my parents, and we're like, okay, let's give it a try because it seems like something you guys would want to do.
For sure. Like with me as well, I absolutely love like Nickelodeon Disney Channel like TV shows and movies. Like I grew up watching Descendants, like iCarly, Victoria. It's like those like OG kind of Disney Channel
Uh-huh.
like Nickelodeon type of shows. But like, what do you have like a favorite like Nickelodeon or Disney show that you watched all the time growing up?
Oh,
I know it's very hard. Like I like there's like so many for me for some reason. Like it's all
um,
like name like a list for some
oh,
like
yeah, like let me pull up my list. No, but I always really liked Liv and Maddie.
oh
Kind of
same.
like
I used to watch that literally nonstop every single day.
really, I feel like that's kind of like the OG Disney show. And then I also enjoyed Bunked or like
Oh, me
Jessie.
too.
Um, yeah, oh my gosh, it feels so weird saying that because it's been a while since I watched Disney or like or Nickelodeon.
Me too. Like I don't know when was the last time I actually watched like Nickelodeon or like Disney Channel. Like the only time I'll turn on the like Nickelodeon channel is when the Friends comes on at 9 o'clock at night. My time. It usually comes on at like 8 or 9 o'clock my time. I think that's like the only time I turn it on. But it's like I used to like the only channel I used to watch was like Disney Channel or Nickelodeon.
Yeah, like I watch it a lot in hotels,
Me too.
like at night when it's just kind of playing and then you just watch it.
Yeah, I would say like every time like I get to choose to like watch something, I always turn on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or which one comes up first. I'll watch it. Like
Yeah.
whoever comes up first or whatever, something that interests me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this for maybe an hour, which turns to probably 5 hours. But um,
Uh-huh.
at 9 years old, as you kind of mentioned like earlier, that you walked away with Actress of the Year, Headshot of the Year, first runner-up Model of the Year, and most sought after Actresses of the Year, among many other great awards. But like, what kind of training did you kind of get to get these awards? I know like one of them you won at 7 years old with your sister, right?
Can you repeat that really quick?
Yeah. So like at 9 years old, you walked away with Actress of the Year, Headshot of the Year, first runner-up Model Year, and most sought after Actress of the Year, along with other great honors. But like, what kind of training did you kind of do to get these kind of awards at age 9 years old?
Oh, yeah, so honestly, like I had never taken an acting class in my life before anything. Um, if so, like I took I would say like a week worth of just some really, really basic classes to get started with like monologue or scenes because I literally like never done a scene in my life before I went to that competition.
Mm.
So like being when you get into IMTA and when you're chosen to like when you're selected to go into the week worth of the competition, they actually give you coaches and they say okay, work with them for like 1 week maybe every day and then like some days, some not, like for a period of 6 months, and then you'll be able to compete. But they were really like just basic coaches, just kind of really giving us like the basic things of the industry. So it's actually really funny that I won because I had like no experience whatsoever.
Ooh, that's crazy. Like it's like at least like they gave you like a little like a kind of like a basic coach to kind of teach you about everything. It's rather like kind of be prepared and know something than not going into it and know nothing and what to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like when you moved to Los Angeles a couple years ago, like how did it kind of push you or inspire you to kind of keep pushing for your dream in the industry?
My family and I, we came to Los Angeles for the purpose of acting. So once I got here, I feel like everything's kind of different. Because I lived in Burbank first, like in the center of LA in the valley. I feel like every actor kind of gets started there once they move out here. And just being in that area with, oh my God, is my neighbor's dog bothering you
Oh,
or
I thought it was my dog for a second. I was like, is
oh
that
I would no, because I don't have a dog and this is my neighbor's dog. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what to do. Should
that's
I continue?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, um, being here in LA and being with like all the other actors and getting started in the acting industry, going out to classes every week or so, I feel like really gives me that motivation to start wanting to pursue acting. But then I've always had like a generic lifestyle like every other girl has. I went to school, just done everything. And I also have like plan Bs in case, I guess, because acting like a question, maybe you book a role in like 10 years recording and then the next year you kind of just like don't book anything else. So it's always good to have a plan B too. So going to school as well while I pursue everything.
mm, that's a good idea. Like with like doing like school, I know with doing school within acting, it's always like kind of very hard to kind of juggle both like work and acting at the same time because acting takes like so much kind of energy and dedication to kind of get roles and stuff. Like how did you kind of manage to kind of do school and then trying to pursue acting?
Honestly, it's like it's been hard, I guess. My parents sometimes are like if it's something really big that takes a lot of my time, then I'll switch to online school. But it's something that at the moment we really don't want to do because I do enjoy going out and being social and making friends and like spending time with people.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like whenever I get an audition and I have to drive down to like the center of LA, and then in that like afternoon traffic, it really just takes up my time. And then I gotta squeeze in homework and schoolwork anytime that I have, asking my friends to help and stuff, or just making it up during lunch. So it's really, it hasn't gotten to a point where it's so crazy, but recently so my school started like 3 weeks ago, and on my second week of school, like basically the whole week I was out because I was in Texas. I was filming a commercial that hasn't aired yet. But it was like so hard. Like even like today, I still got to make up work for that week.
Oh, that's like the worst part about kind of like not being an actor, but also like being in high school and also balancing it is that like you have to like make that time up for if you do like in-person school. I know like a lot of actors took online school as well for the like purposes of like time being and managing both acting and in person, but not like online school is like for everyone. I know like a lot of people prefer in person. I know for me, I'm like I do online, but I always miss like that in-person interaction because of I'm very social with people, so I'm like I kind of
Yeah.
miss that, but at the same time, I'm like it just saves like so much time and energy. You can just get done with school a little earlier and then do whatever you need to do. But it's like really the same thing as in person, but it's online.
Yeah. It's similar, I guess, in more of like the social aspect kind of way, and then also the time, like 7 hours at school and then like a couple minutes maybe, or I don't know how long it takes you to do your work, but I know it's like a way shorter amount of time.
Yeah. And like if someone is like visiting Los Angeles, like what would you kind of recommend to do in Los Angeles? Like whether it's like food, activities, like what would you like recommend to people if they're visiting?
Ooh, I would say definitely like you're talking about if like someone within the entertainment industry or just like a random
Or
tour.
anything, like entertainment or just so, like regular people.
Yeah, regular people, I would say obviously see the Hollywood sign because I feel like when I
Mhm.
first moved out here, like that's the first thing I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Go to the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Mhm.
That's very popular. A lot of people say the Griffith Observatory, but honestly, I think I've been there like once out of all the years that I've been here in LA. But if you're in the entertainment industry, I would say like hit up a dance class, maybe at the Playground LA or Millennial. They take walk-ins, and it's really fun, honestly. You get to talk to a lot of people in the industry and dance with them. And then going out to downtown LA, like Google things to do in LA, and there's so many restaurants, so many events going on every day. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's like the top things.
Yeah, like I've been to like LA so many times. Like I literally like used to like drag my dad to see the Hollywood sign. I would do the exact same thing. That was like the first thing on my list. Like I did see observatory like once or twice. I'm just like I seen it once. I'm just kind of like I seen it once, but I'm just like not new to see it again. Like for some reason.
Yeah.
But like, do you have like any like upcoming like music or acting gigs?
Hmm. Yeah, so there's actually this project, and I can't really say what it is because it's like confidential, you know.
Mm.
Um, but I shot it, I would say like a year and a half ago, probably almost 2 years. And I don't know if you know about the strike going on in the industry right now.
Mm. Mm.
The writers and the actors striking. So that has definitely been slowing down the project, and it's getting pitched to different platforms. So hopefully I'm thinking at the end of 2023 or hopefully the beginning of 2024. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I know they're still in post-production. So that should be really exciting to come out. And then I've told you that last week or like 2 weeks ago, I was out in Texas
Mm.
filming a project. And then I shot actually a commercial for oh wait, I don't know if I can say this, but like it's a sports brand.
Mm.
So it's really exciting to come out and stuff. And I'm
Ooh.
honest, like when it comes to music too, my last song was with my sister, and it was a song called Prisoner, and we did a duet together. So we were actually like the last couple of days talking about other songs that we could release and brainstorming other ideas. And maybe we actually started writing like a script for a movie, kind of getting into
Ooh.
that writer's era too. So there should be like a lot of upcoming stuff. It's kind of
Ooh,
just
it's
like
so exciting. I feel like during the summer, the ideas always like come out like
yeah.
that. Especially like for me, I don't know if it's like for you as well, but I don't know why, but it's like every time I try to go to bed, my ideas always come about. And like during the day, like the ideas never come. It's always like when I go to bed, the ideas always storm in.
Yeah, like bed or in the shower for me. Like that's when
Yeah,
like
it's
you
the
get
same way for me. Like it's always the bed or in the shower when you're not thinking about anything, and that's like, oh, I should do like this writing project, and like not, and realize like, oh, I'm sleeping. I don't want to go on my phone and write it down on my to-do list.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But like what like role have you done that has kind of like meant the most or kind of like stuck out to you?
Ooh. Um, I'm like when you say that the first kind of role or project that I've been in that stuck the most out to me. I don't know if you know the YouTube, it's called React Media.
Mhm.
It's kind of like it used to be a kids React, but now they transitioned into adults and teenagers. And then they're kind of together with the People versus Food channel on YouTube. And like all together they have over 30 million subscribers and they're super like super high quality production and I'm very thankful to be in it. But I think of, yeah, that's the most, I would say, the best kind of project that really stuck out to me. You meet a lot of new people on set and you get these super cool prompts and you have to react to them. And it's kind of like a family, everybody all together. And obviously, like I've been to many great, great projects, but I just really like the idea of coming into set and then having people that you're going to film videos with. So it's all like a big family.
I totally get that because like when I watched react videos, I watched some of them over the last couple of days before this interview, and like it's literally so hilarious. Like it's so
Oh yeah.
funny, but it's also entertaining. Like the quality, the people that are doing it, it's like so hilarious. And like with React, like it's all like family friendly basically. It's like for basically little kids. Well, maybe not all videos, but most of the videos are.
I was like, what? No, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, they do a bunch of like a variety of videos. I shot with them actually I would say like a week and a half ago. So there's still a couple videos that haven't come out that I've been in them. But I'm very excited for them to come out. Like I always check on YouTube to see when they're out.
I'm like, is this out yet? When is it gonna come out? Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
just scroll down. But like, you have portrayed roles in Love's Exos TV series. Like, what would you kind of describe the character or characters that you portrayed in the series?
So the Love XO series, what's really cool about it is that every episode they have a new story, a new plot line, a new character. So every episode in a way I'm kind of playing a different character. Um and like sometimes I play like the mean girl that's like super rude and then the moral story is to not be rude or to not be this. But I play a variety of characters from mean to the girl who's bullied. So yeah, that's pretty nice.
It's very good to actually like portray like different sorts of characters, whether it's like a bully, the nice kid, a nerdy kid. Like it's always good to like try, different aspects of different roles, whether it's like for the same series or different series. But like, do you have like a favorite like role? Do you like to play like whether it's like a nerd kid, a bully, like a or like a horror person where they just scare people? Like, well, like what was like you like your favorite thing to kind of do in terms of like acting?
I honestly, I've always really been into playing the mean kid. I
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like okay, the nice character is always pretty like cool to play as well. But I've always just really liked to be the mean kid that bullies people, and that's not me like in real life. Like I'm actually like a kind person.
Yeah, it's like so different when like you're so like nice and kind in real life, but then on like when you're on screen, you're just playing a total like opposite of you in actual life.
Exactly. But I feel yeah, I love to play the mean characters. I guess all of them with a variety of different characters, different hobbies. You get to jump into that person's lifestyle and create around based on their life.
For sure. And in 2022, you played Cassie in 3 episodes of Class of 1970. Like, Like, was it based in like the 1970 era, or was it kind of like the name was like class of 1970 that kind of revolved around the 70s, 1970?
So Class of 1970s is a story, and it involves ghosts, and basically it's a class. So they're in the future time now, and they're always flashing back to the class of 1970s that involves the girl who's a ghost that is still kind of in a way haunting the school. But then as you watch Class of 1970s, you figure out why she's there and what she's doing. But it's always flashing between future and then 1970s, and then yeah, back and
Ooh,
forth.
that is so interesting. Like, I have to watch it. Like, where can people find it if like they're interested? It's on YouTube, HBO. Like, where can people find it?
No, yeah, it's on YouTube. Just like search up Class of 1970s in the search bar. Should be one of the first ones to pop up. And then it's under the Love It So web series.
Ooh, perfect. I'm definitely gonna do this once we get off of it. We're gonna watch it. I'm so invested.
Oh
But
yeah.
like, how do you get to like use your both like your English and Portuguese languages? Because I know like you like were born in Brazil and you moved to the US. So like, how do you kind of manage to both use both English and Portuguese languages?
Yeah, my parents have always really been big onto my sister and I keeping our native language, Portuguese, in the household. It's they find it very important, and I also find it very important to keep Portuguese within me. And it's also great for the industry, speaking multiple languages, being able to communicate with so many people. So I speak fluent Portuguese with my family. Like anytime I'm around them with my parents, we only speak Portuguese. And then when I go to school and when I'm out in the world here in the United States, I'm speaking English, but it's balancing back and forth between the two languages. And then also when I auditioned for roles, I've auditioned for roles that speak Portuguese before. I actually did a project. It's a web series on YouTube about the your body systems and everything, and it's kind of more of those educational videos, and it was actually in Portuguese. So there's a lot of roles here out in the industry that require you to speak different languages like Portuguese or Spanish, and I get sent out to a lot of roles in Spanish as well, because since Portuguese and Spanish are really similar, it's easy for me to speak and to understand Spanish as well.
Yeah, like especially being like in this like type of industry, like I know like many like acting roles kind of require to use like whether it's like English or Portuguese or English and Spanish or require like different type of languages. It's always kind of good to have like a little like I would say backup in case like you they definitely need a second language. But like have you ever been back to Brazil since like you moved? Or is it kind of like you haven't been there since like you moved and stayed in the US?
Oh, I actually been back twice. So I moved and then I've lived in Florida and I live in California now. So I've been here for, I would say, almost 9 years. So the first time that we moved out here, it had been 5 years and we hadn't gone back. And my family and I, when we leave, like we don't look back. We still talk to our family all the time. But then after 5 years, we're like, okay, we have to go back and see the family, see
Mm,
our friends and relatives. So then we go back to Brazil. And this was a little bit before quarantine. I think it was the Christmas before quarantine.
mm.
We went there and we saw them. And then also this year in December, I was there as well. And hopefully we'll see this year or maybe next year I can go back. It's a really long flight, like all the way
Mm.
to South America. It's so long.
Yeah, like how long's the flight from like where like from Los Angeles to Brazil from where you are?
So if you go straight, like no stops, no nothing, I believe it's 12 hours, and
Mm.
then that gets you to São Paulo, which is 1 hour to Vitória, because in Vitória we don't like where I'm from, there's no international flights, so you have to first stop at São Paulo and then take a separate flight from São Paulo to Vitória.
Ooh, that's interesting. Like I know it was like England or like Australia. Like it's like you're like flying. Well, for Australia, like you're like flying like all night to go to Australia. But so the
Oh
different
yeah.
days. It's like they're like a day ahead. So like when you like leave on Tuesday, you won't get there until like Thursday. based off the days and the hours of how many hours and days like you transition to, which is kind of, like it was just kind of crazy to me because we left on a Tuesday, we should get there on a Wednesday, but then I realized they're a day ahead. So it's like a like realization that like, oh, it's like different countries have like a different time system in the United States. I know like with the from like that East Coast to the West Coast, I know it's like 5 there in LA, then it's like 8:30 here in not Los Angeles, Pennsylvania. So it's crazy how like the time zones and everything works, especially like different countries. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like the time difference too. Like when I call my grandparents, like I'm here, like having breakfast, they're like prepping for dinner. And I'm like, what?
I'm
It's,
like, hi guys, prepping for dinner already. And I just woke up. Like that's crazy.
yeah. Hmm.
But last thing I wanted to ask you before we hop off is what is some advice for upcoming singers or actors that are just sitting out?
I would say first, I would say try to look for an agent. The agent will obviously submit you to roles that you wouldn't necessarily have access to yourselves. And you can get singing agent, acting agent, and then when you get an acting agent, it branches off into different categories like commercial and theatrical. And then there's even ones for dance as well. And then there's voiceover, which I'm also repped for. So I would definitely say get an agent, fly out here if you can. Being LA local helps so much in the industry. And then also I would say have a life outside of acting. The acting industry, like, so beautiful. It's so fun to play many different characters, but a lot of the times it can be really frustrating in a way, going to auditions and sometimes not hearing back and you thinking your like big hit was going to be sooner than you thought it was. So do an audition and then go somewhere, like have somewhere to be, forget about it. If they want you, they want you. And then like people say like that one yes can change your life. So I would say just don't ever stop having hope in a way.
Mhm.
Keep living your life, go to school, make your life, and then have acting be a hobby that you're passionate about and go out for roles and then keep going at it until one day like you stop going to school because acting becomes your priority in your life.
That's a good advice. Because like that's like something I had to realize is that like especially during the summertime, like I'm always like doing interviews since like of course like school's like a top priority and it's like it takes up so much time that it's like it's kind of crazy to kind of be able to kind of jug schoolwork and then able to do like acting or podcasting or whatever it is. I know with me, it's like I literally spent like this whole summer doing like interviews or work or anything. And it's like, so at some point you're like, oh, well, like, why am I doing this if it's not getting enough views or if it's not working out? It's not like you should like do something outside of acting, whether it's like have a social life or go
Mhm.
do dancing or hang out with friends. Like it should always like be able to have fun and go out and do something, have a social life rather than doing and focusing on one specific thing, whether it's like acting. Like this, like of course, with being in this industry, it's very hard to be able to like get a career or get a, kind of like a start in this industry or kind of
Yeah, yeah.
gain tons of roles. So it's like you shouldn't be able to have that one focus on that because it takes time. It can take very much years to kind of get in, like a hit role, and like not everyone gets a role, even like good role, gets a breakout role, and not until maybe they're older or would not possibly maybe never get a role, like even when they're older. So it's like even when like you get a role and you're working hard, you should always have a time where you can like, oh, I should go out and have some quality time because work is not the most well, it's very important, don't get me wrong, but it's like not the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And have like a support system as well if that's your family or your friends. You can always go back to and stay grounded. That's why I went back to Brazil as well. I've been back twice. Just go back to your roots where you're from. And then also, yeah, with social media as well, like kind of wraps social media is kind of into the entertainment industry as well. And the same thing, we're like, okay, I'm gonna post this TikTok video and become an influencer. And a lot of the times it's not like that. And it's having a lot of determination and going out
Mhm.
there and posting even when they necessarily don't do well. And same thing with going to auditions and not hearing back, but just keep going at it.
For sure. I love that. And I want to thank you so much, Carolina, for coming on the podcast. You're seriously amazing. I love time with you. I know we've been trying to do this for such a long time, so I'm happy we've been
Oh,
able to actually do this and take time to chat. I know you're very busy, so I really appreciate you coming on. And I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of the podcast. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, night, or evening, wherever you are and like around the world. But I hope everyone having a great rest of your day. And thank you so much, Caroline, for coming on. And have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much again.
yeah. Thank you.
Of
It's so
course.
funny. Oh, it's so funny to actually like see you in person. Like, oh my gosh, you're real. Like we've been
Yeah,
emailing and
I
stuff.
know,
And when
right?
we
Like,
like come up here, like you're actually real. And that's a lot of things in this industry as well.
mm,
Talking to like people online and you're like, oh my gosh, you're actually like a real
yeah.
person.
Like, wait, like we should just do like a little like review next time I'm in like Los Angeles or you're in Pennsylvania. We can just do like, oh my
Uh,
God, you're actually real. Like I gotta
yeah.
get you about this. If you're just on like a little like meme like fake like do you know the my owl on Snapchat?
The which one?
The my owl, like the AL, I think it's called.
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like it's like the my owl. It's like a very like online chatting,
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
type
yeah.
into the little thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I totally get what you're saying. But yeah, I'm like literally so happy we finally got to do this like after rescheduling for so long. Like it finally worked out and I'm glad because it was a lot of fun.
Me too. I'm so happy to chat with you. And thank you so much, guys. And it was so nice to meet you. And we should definitely do this again soon for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you so much for coming on and have a good rest of your day. Bye.